Pretty little number 10 and bar at the Quality Inn. Every single day she was up in the stakes to a game that nobody could win. Her kids would stay the night with the neighbors. Mama wouldn't be home until later. Heard she was turning tricks for paper. That was just another Tuesday night in those trailers. White trash roots running deeper. T-pain pills turned to needles. Things I've got to know. These feelings, something that you can't outrun.
Hey, good morning, y'all. We are back with it. Been a hell of a... Whoa, what the hell? I'm in the water? What the fucking fuck? What the hell? I'm, like, not getting out of the water. Okay, that was odd. That's my boat. There we go. Excuse me. I didn't get a chance to reach the mute button in time.
Thanks for flying with us. Have a great day.
Thank y'all for that. Appreciate it. Hey, John Pope. That's a name I haven't seen in a minute. Welcome back. All right, let's line ourselves up over here. We're going up, just up the way a little bit to Van Horn. And then we can grab the wagons and such. And we'll make a few runs before I get off to work tomorrow.
Thanks for flying with us. Have a great day.
We hope you've had a wonderful flight, and again, thanks for flying with us.
Hey, John, thank you for sharing the stream, man. Appreciate that. Hey, John, that's really sweet of you, man. I appreciate that. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you. That's the kind of stuff that fires me up. When you got people that show up for you and give you those little nuggets of encouragement on days that you really need it. That's the kind of friendship I'm down for. So I will stay blessed, and I will make it an effort to have a great day today. I will make it an effort to be great today. But full disclosure, man, I had probably one of the roughest 48 hours I've ever had. I'm not going to get into it on stream, but I'm happy to have both of my vehicles back, and I'll just leave it at that. I've been tracking down my cars for the last 48 hours, and I finally have them both back. So all I can say, man, is it's weird. It's weird, the things you come to appreciate after major events. It's very interesting how little you need to be happy. Serious. Let me get out of this current. I'm like smack in the middle of a current right now. Come over here to this side where all these swamp puppies are. Almost out of the current. There we go. Just outside the channel now. Life is a test, only the strong survive. My man just woke up and chose wisdom today. Good Lord. Good Lord, John. Hit me with it, brother. Hit me with it. It's so true, though. So true. There's a camp there now? Can't tell if this boat's faster or slower than the other one. It feels like it's faster. It's bigger. Dude's killing everything over there. Can you hunt legendary animals in RP? Yes, you can. And they are worth a lot of money. Absolutely. In fact, in the RP side of the game, anytime that you hunt a legendary animal, a few things happen. You can use the legendary pelt, like the fur, to craft stuff. So you take those legendary furs to specific people in the city, and I know it seems kind of weird, but like you combine certain things to make other things that you can't buy anywhere in the city. You can only craft them. Also the legendary parts. So like if you're hunting the legendary cougar, it'll give you a pelt and a legendary cougar tooth. And so you have to use those to like craft one-off things that you can't get in the cities. You can buy most things, but there's a few things that you cannot buy or just way too expensive to be practical. So you have to end up crafting them. Now, having said that, if you remember Bud Dudley, Bud Dudley's in here with me, and he is his trade. His job, his whitelisted job in the city is a trapper. So he actually gets alerts and notifications. I think he gets alerts and notifications on his map when there are legendary animals around, and then he will go and hunt them. And so the business strategy that we have right now is that with Bud being a trapper and me being a wagoneer, he handles all the front end business and I handle all the back end business, and then we just split everything 50-50. We both hunt and we both cure hides, and then we put it in the pot, and then he's able to turn the hides into trader goods. This guy had the same idea. Not bad at all. Missing a gunsmith on your team. Yes, we are in fact missing a gunsmith. That's something that I'd like to get. So if, I don't know, man, if you want to come in here and, you know, play a little cowboy RP with us, and you reckon you know how to work on a gun or two, man, why don't you get in here and give us a call? I only want to work with people I trust, so there's that. The sound is so ominous. I don't understand the point of it, but you know. We're just going right around this corner here. That that barn is where my wagon and horse is. So I'll be able to pull that out here in a sec. Now we'll figure we'll stretch the legs of the new on the new boat. Working on it. Life got a lot of trials for you, boy, at the moment. Hey, bro, I hear that. I hear that. I hear that. I stopped both of my cars from being human trafficked yesterday. One of them got stolen. Took a day off of work and set everything up to go get it back. But man, it's been a day and a half, man. The only reason I say that is to empathize with you in a sense that I don't understand why life is coming so hard for all of us right now. But for whatever trials you're going through, man, I'm praying for you. It's not fair. I would love to be going through these trials with a clear head and, you know, enough of a mindset to be able to handle it normally, but it seems like these trials always come when you're least expecting it and you're the least prepared for it. So all right, apparently my human is overloaded, so I have too much weight on me, so best I can do is walk. I tried to put on my backpack here to take some of the weight, but it looks like I might be Yep, 100%, John. In the movies, what do they say? They don't say attack when your enemy is strong, but when your enemy is distracted or a weak moment. I'll be honest, I'm not going to take it all like biblical and spiritual and stuff, but I got to be honest with you. That's why I don't have any respect for the devil. That's why I don't have any respect for the way that Satan works, is because he won't fight you straight up. He comes for you when you're weak. He comes for you when you are already at a low point. Man, I want to have respect for my enemy. If I'm going to face my enemy, I want to have respect for my enemy. And I've never had respect for the devil because he doesn't fight it. He doesn't fight it fair. He comes for you. Whoa, shit. No, I definitely don't want to sell it. Hold on. I wanted to repair it. Holy crap, that's a big difference. All right, there we go. But you're exactly right, John. That's how he gets you. That's how he tries to get you. All right, let's move 150 of these over. Where are they? Right here. Split. Do 150. looks good. Gonna go up to Crips. Right there. Yep. It's a pretty serious storm. I wish you got I wish you got like bonus points. Like for doing deliveries when the weather's shitty. I wish you got bonus points for that. Or XP or money or something. Like it. The weather in this game is much more serious in a sense that like it'll disrupt things more than it ever did in Grand Theft Auto. But that could have just been by design. Maybe the weather in Grand Theft Auto was like purposefully tempered so that it wasn't as bad. I know there was sometimes like the fog would just get out of control. The rain wasn't that bad, but the fog was bad. The snow was bad. Faith and truth, things the modern world pretends they don't need. Oh no. Things the modern world pretends they don't need but can't live without. Everybody. That's a big statement, because truth is something that I'm running into like all kinds of problems with right now, because I'm trying to align myself with the truth. And a lot of times I tell myself this, it's like a mantra, and I tell my wife this, like, the truth does not care about my feelings. The truth does not care about your feelings. The truth is the truth. Whatever happened, we got to own up to that. And if I don't like what the truth is, then I need to start aligning myself with better decisions so that I don't have to look back on it and feel embarrassed or defeated because of the decisions or the things that I'm doing. So align yourself with the truth, hold yourself accountable, and be honest with it. I feel like that's the only way to live my life, and my wife and I have both committed to that, and that's one of those things. Hey, good morning, Scotty. Brother Scotty in the building, y'all. But what I'm finding on this journey is that while the truth might work for my wife and I, and it might work for our family to establish ourselves kind of rooted in that, there's a lot of people that I do life with that don't like the fact that I call shit out. And my circle is starting to get smaller because of it. And that's fine with me. But I don't need fake people in my life. I need people that I can sit down and have real conversations with about my shit, about your shit, about the shit that's going on in the world. That's important to me. And if you can't have honest conversation, you don't have real friends. I'm telling you. I know that's a harsh thing to say, but like, if you're really banking on these people and you can't have honest conversations with them, and they can't, more importantly, they can't have honest conversations with you to tell you when you're crossing lines, you don't have real friends. Friends are going to be there and stand there and tell you the truth to piss you, not to piss you off, but they'll tell you the truth, and if it pisses you off, so be it. Because they'll also be the friend that'll stand there and help you navigate that same problem. And so those are the types of people that are important to me in my life, because as you said, John, most people today, they have a very interesting, almost dysfunctional relationship with the truth. And what I mean by that is the truth works for everybody as long as it's not applied through a mirror. As long as the truth is on your side of the table and not on my side of the table, the truth works for almost everybody. And that's a hard fact. But the second that you start pulling up the mirror and showing the reflection of the person that's doing the criticizing, when you show that reflection back to them and you show them the criticisms of their own self, that's where you're going to learn a lot about the people in your circle. Does someone have the emotional, the mental, the spiritual maturity to be able to take the same criticism that they give? You'd be amazed at how few that number is. 100%. John, man, you dead on today, bro. You are dead on today. I don't think, and here's the thing, and my wife and I were talking about this, so this is very relevant to our conversation here. I don't necessarily, you might be true, speaking truth with humans today are in love with lies and deception. You may not be wrong. That may be a component of it. But I genuinely think that there's a component of this that like accidentally causes people to live in that space. And it's this fear of confrontation. It's a fear of confrontation. It's a fear of accountability. And what that boils down to is it's a fear of the truth. And when you have somebody that has a dysfunctional relationship with the truth, they're going to have a very dysfunctional relationship with accountability, because if they're not living in spaces of truth, people in their life are not speaking truth into them, which means you might be the first person that they've ever encountered that's willing to break shit down and say, hey, I don't appreciate the fact that you did A, B, and C because D, E, and F happened over here that you were not a part of. And maybe your behavior and your actions, you didn't realize this, but they had reverberating, you know, chaos theory. A butterfly flaps his wings on one side of the planet and a tsunami happens on the other side of the planet. That's chaos theory. So you have to be intimately aware of the behavior patterns that you do and the relationships that you have with other people, because something that can feel both positive and negative, but something that can feel insignificant to you might actually be the tsunami effect in somebody else's life. Living righteously, living on spaces where you're acknowledging what the truth of your life is and acknowledging your place in that and holding yourself accountable to that. When you start doing that, and that, notice what I said has nothing to do with anybody else, right? If I'm focused inward and I'm working on my space and my truth and my ability to be held accountable and to stand up to my own self-doubt and my own criticism, if I'm working on all of that, do you notice how none of that has anything to do with you guys? You notice how that has nothing to do with the people in my circle at all? There is no judgment in that space. There is no precondition in that space. That's just somebody that puts their head down and does the work. Period. And in doing that, my belief is that if you have the presence of mind to slow yourself down and work on yourself and get all of those checks, all of those boxes, you don't need to stand out in front of a crowd of people and deliver your TED Talk. All you have to do is live your life authentically, rooted in a space of truth. And that can be biblical truth, or it can just be truth. I'm not even saying you have to be a Christian to pull this off, because you don't. You can use whatever moral compass guides you. I personally am guided by my faith. So I use biblical faith to guide my moral compass in that way. I'm not a judgmental Christian. I'll sit down and drink a beer with you and we can cuss at God all night if that's how you need to process. But I believe in honoring the feelings that you have, honoring the journey that you're on. And both of those things require having a relationship with the truth and being able to discuss those things with the people that you trust and care about. And so I go back to what I said at the beginning of this, where I said, if you don't have friends in your life that you can sit down and break it down with like this, if you don't have friends that you can sit down and talk to about, you know, your faith or your life or the problems that you're having or the things that you want to accomplish, and you don't have friends that are willing to sacrifice and show up for you, man, get you new friends. It's as simple as that. You want to see what your future looks like? Show me your circle of friends. Because if you got people that'll keep it real with you, I've been in some very big circles because of my career, working with celebrities and high net worth folks in the LA area. I see a lot. And I will be the first person to tell you that the only people that survive this city are the people that somehow manage to stay grounded in being a real fucking human being and not getting so big and so out of touch with reality and surrounding themselves with so many people willing to say yes to obnoxious things that people should be saying no to, that's how you get out of hand real quick. So I'm not a celebrity, but I'm borrowing from that world, and I'm going to stay humble in everything that I do, no matter what happens to me. And that's the difference maker. There is probably very little that you could tell me about me that I don't already know about or have conversations with or am working to fix. And for that reason, nothing you say as a criticism is going to shock me, because it's not coming out of the blue. But it's crazy to me because most people want that. Most people want to be able to do what I'm doing right now, and I'll be the first person to tell you it's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. So if you think you want it, you might, until you start doing it. And then you realize you're going to lose a lot of friends this way. It's going to be a lot lonelier this way. There's not going to be a lot of people that understand what you're doing. There's going to be a lot of people that don't want any part of it. It is what it is. But when I look around my life right now, that's all I see are my OGs. There's not a single person in my life that's not ride or die. And that's not by accident. A couple years down the line of doing this, and the people that want to be around you and do life with you and are as honest as they say they are, they'll find you. It's like a lighthouse. I use this analogy with my wife all the time. It's like a lighthouse. You just stand there, put yourself on that rock, turn your light on, and shine as bright as you can. And the people that need to find you will find you. You do not need to go out looking for people. You do not need to go turning over stones and looking in the back corners and the dark pockets of stuff. Stand there and shine, and people will find you. John is saying, Zen, a Rastafari teaching in what grounds me to earth. My dad was Bob Marley's bodyguard, but he's a stuck-up a-hole chasing status in the BS of the modern world. Hey, there's a few religions. For the longest time, my spiritual journey had me exploring many religions. I was born Catholic, but there's a lot of issues that I personally have with the Catholic Church, and a lot of them center around the way the Catholic Church looks at sin and the way that they digest sin. And it's a very black and white issue with the Catholic Church. You don't sin, you go to heaven, that's that, you know, and I will make you feel guilty. As a church, I will make you feel guilty for all the things that you do that are shortcomings as a Christian. And I'm sorry, but I got a problem with that, because the God that I serve, he doesn't think like that. So why do you guys? As an organized religion, why do you guys? The God I serve preaches about forgiveness and talks about repentance of the things that you do wrong, not judging you for the things that you do wrong. We are imperfect beings, and we are meant to sin, and we are meant to make mistake. We are not meant to atone, and we are not meant to ask for forgiveness. That is the choice that we make as Christians. But when I became disillusioned with the Christian faith, I started looking at Buddhism. And Buddhism and Rastafari, they have some similar things in a sense that it focuses a lot of that stuff inward. And it's not dealing with the connection to the material world, as you said, the modern world. We are told that the connection to the modern world in Buddhism is suffering. Everything is suffering. And so when you invite this pursuit of materialistic things and endeavors, all you're doing is setting yourself up for pain. So it's very interesting. I love the presence and the spiritual presence of the Rastafari, because they bring that same sense of community and nobility, introspection, and they do things in a way that honors the people around them, truly, with music and singing and community. And It's, to me, that's more of the staple of what religion should be. Religion is not where I'm going to go and necessarily get all my teachings, because my teachings should be my relationship with the God that I choose. The community is there to reinforce the decisions that I make in my spiritual life. So if I choose to be a good person and there's a collection of like-minded good people at the church that I go to, then I would want to spend a little bit of time with them. Not all of my time. Because in my faith, Jesus did not just spend all of his time with good people. He spent some time with good people. He spent most of his time with people that everybody else didn't want to have anything to do with. Prostitutes, lepers, degenerates, alcoholics. He spent time with the people that everybody else casted aside. And he went in there and he loved on them. And to me, that's what being a Christian is. It has nothing to do with going to church every Sunday and being part of the band and doing all that stuff. It has to do with connecting with the people that actually need something or someone. And not pushing God's love, but just showing them God's love. Letting them experience God's love. Like I use the analogy of the lighthouse. Just stand there on the hill, shine your light, and let people decide and choose what they want to be a part of. And sometimes they want to, and sometimes they don't. I have my very best friend, my college best friend, is a devout atheist. And I love that man to death. And he has a moral compass that's as good, if not better than my own. And this man does not even follow a God. So I will not sit here and judge anybody and say that the only way that you can have a moral compass is to serve God. It's a really consistent way. It's probably going to give you about a 90 to 95% success rating. But you don't need God to have a moral compass. And I have one best friend and another really close friend of mine. Both of them are very science-minded people. They want to see God represented in binary code or in something tangible, and because they can't see that, it's harder for them to take that on faith. Well, I have felt the hand of God on my heart, so to me there is nothing that I need to prove or see or do. It's just a truth that I can acknowledge by my faith. But that doesn't necessarily work with everyone. And one of the things that, just speaking on the church thing real quick, I heard a quote and it has resonated with me for years, and it was from the Alcoholics Anonymous camp, and it was a guy who was going to AA, and he used to always say, like, every time that I showed up to church and I was a few minutes late, everybody in the church would, turn around and look at me and judge me, and the thinking was, reading between the lines, was that they were implying that I was not as disciplined as them because I didn't make all of the correct decisions to get to church on time. And so I'm being judged for being late. And he said, what I never understood is that when I would go to my AA meetings, my Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, if I showed up to that meeting late, they would stop the meeting. The meeting would stop. Every single person in the room would stand up and they would come over and they would give me a hug. And the reason that they would give that person a hug is because they know that if he came late, there's a likelihood he almost didn't come. But he did come. And even if he came late, he was there and he was trying and he showed up. And if you look at the difference between how the church looks at people versus how Alcoholics Anonymous looks at people, right in that one analogy, you have just discovered everything that is wrong with the church right now. Everything that is wrong with the church is encapsulated in that analogy. You got people that are judgmental that you're showing up late, not excited that you're there. They're not praying over you. They're not loving on you. They're not showing up for you in the moment that you probably need it the most. You're just sitting in a room full of strangers listening to another stranger talk about somebody that you have to take on faith. And people wonder why churches are dwindling in numbers and people are turning their back from God, because y'all are the representatives. Because these are the people that everybody else thinks is representative of our faith, and that cannot be further from the truth. Those people that sit there in church every Sunday, y'all don't represent my faith. I walk by faith. I'm in those dark alleys. I'm talking to those people. Hey, you got me all spun up today, John. You got me waking up and choosing violence against the church today, my guy. But I appreciate it because I needed to get that off my chest, and it's very true. I think if we started showing up for each other more in serious ways like that, I think we would be a lot better for it. Howdy. All right, we're gonna do storage. Hit another 150. Split that. Cool. Oh, I need to make a quick note. Faith above all. Faith above all. And truth over everything. I love it. I love it. John, I appreciate you, bro. All right, I'm gonna make a quick, let's see here. I need to make a quick note on my runs here, just so that I don't math very well. So I'm trying to keep track of all my deliveries, because depending on what day and what times, I may have certain things. So let's see here, paste. What day of the week is today? Today's the 18th. Wow. January be flying. Let's see, we did that at what, 04:30, and we did that down to Armadillo. Copy. I should have done this before I started the run. There we go, and then paste that. Beautiful. All right, now I'm gonna work my way over to Manzanita Post, and then we will run another mission here. There we go. But John, I appreciate that, man. Truth over everything, 100%. But like I said, it's one of those things that's dying by the wayside. People say they want it. I mean, they really do. They talk about it like they want it, but they don't, in fact, appreciate it when you start to levy it. Got it. Hey, Scotty, welcome back. I saw your name just pop up in the chat there. Interesting route. Man, y'all got some deep conversations going this morning. Yeah, not 100% sure where that came from, but my man John was he was poking at the right scab, and that scab needed to bleed a little bit, so I appreciate it. 100%. 100%. Truth removes the mask people are comfortable hiding behind. Oh my God. 100%. And that's the crazy thing to me, especially in my industry. When I work with people in Los Angeles, and I mean, you don't have to be like super paying attention to understand that most of LA is built on lies and facades, and you know, people claim to do shit they never do, and et cetera, et cetera. But the crazy thing that I notice, and maybe this is just a part of, I don't know, I guess my autism, but I don't understand why, if you claim to do something, if you know how to do something, do it. If you don't know how to do something, find somebody that knows how to do it and ask them to teach it to you. Study it a little bit, practice it a little bit until you now know how to do it. But if you don't know how to do something, I will never understand what kind of a flex that is to try to convince other people that you know how to do something that you don't know how to do or you have never done. That's weird to me. You know, when you go home and you look at yourself in the mirror, you know full fucking well that you can't do what you said you just did. Or that you don't know that person, or you never had that conversation, or whatever it is. I know that you're full of shit, and you know that you're full of shit. But you'll still stand out there on principle, and you'll try to act like that's what's going on. And I do not understand it. So I've always taken that, my takeaway from that was, rather than pretend to be something I'm not, I would rather just go around and collect a bunch of random fucking skills throughout the course of my life, so that when I say that I know how to do stuff and you say, okay, here, and you hand me the keys to something, that I can go, yeah, all right, I'll go do it. And so for that reason, I'm not bullshitting you guys. I do know how to fly a fucking helicopter. I do know how to drive a race car because I've gone to flight school and I've gone to racing school and I've gotten licenses for both of those. So when I talk about it with people, if you have a helicopter or a race car in your backyard and we're talking about it, guess what? I'll put my money where my mouth is and I'll be able to talk confidently about it because I actually know how to do it. But it's weird to me when you encounter people that will say, oh yeah, oh, you fly helicopters? That's awesome. I know how to fly a helicopter too. No, the fuck you don't. I'll ask you 2 follow-up questions that automatically prove you have no idea what you're talking about. So why are you trying to like bond with me? Are we trying to have a moment because we're both helicopter pilots? Well, here's the thing. If you are actually a helicopter pilot, I'll have a beer with you. If you're not a helicopter pilot and you're a fixed-wing general aviation pilot, I'll have a beer with you. If you're an airline pilot, I'll have a beer with you. My best friend, my very best friend, I've known him since fucking 7th grade. My very best friend is a charter pilot. He flies private people. He does my job without the security. He flies clients privately all over the country in his plane. He's my age. He does not pretend that he's anything other than a pilot. And that's what I love about him. Him and I both work with amazing people. He sends me text messages all the time. He goes, hey, have you ever worked with so-and-so? Like, oh yeah, I did them back in 2017. Oh, okay, cool. I'll tell him you said, you know, hello. It's such a small circle. But I know intuitively, if he tells me that he's doing something, he's not lying about it. I know he's actually doing it. And that's the difference. There are some friends that I have, they'll be like, oh my God, I just met, I don't know. I'm blanking on a celebrity name right now. I just met Steven Spielberg. And I'll be like, yeah, sure you did. You probably saw him somewhere and waved to him and he didn't even notice you or wave back. But yeah, you claim that you met him. Okay, cool. I'm happy for you. But I actually know him. So, weird flex, right? Oh, I turned early. I don't know. How do I get back there? Just loop back this way. Oh, I missed it. What did Scotty say? A lot of people in the world don't want that. They want the title, but not the work. They want the easiest path possible. Which Yeah, you're exactly right. And the thing about that specifically that I don't understand, how do you sell that lie to yourself? You know, like, I would love to be able to ask somebody that question and get a heartfelt, honest to God answer from somebody. If you know that you can't do something, it's not to say that you can't eventually learn to do something. At one point in my life, I did not know how to fly a helicopter. I do now. So I can know that there was a point in my life where I didn't know how to do something, and now I know how to do something. So I'm not saying that it's not possible for people. What I don't understand is, how do you sell that lie to yourself? What is it that you're telling yourself that makes it okay to knowingly lie to yourself and to other people that you have skills you don't have? And to take that a step further, what happens if those skill sets are life and death? I work with people who claim to be special forces, and I was a part of military projects that don't exist. Yeah, bro, that's great. I'm so happy for you. None of what we're doing right now is any of that. And none of the skills that you have by being fucking Splinter Cell is going to help us when we're trying to get our client to and from a 5-star dinner so they can make their flight to get back to their business meeting halfway across the country. So while I appreciate that you served our country in very specific and very unique and highly respected capacities, that has nothing to do with the job that we're currently doing. So quiet down, relax, stop trying to impress everybody in the room, and just do the job. And that's grown-ass men doing that kind of shit, so. What's John saying? What we got here? It's like everyone wants the same life story or to walk the same path in life these days. I agree. I see so much of it. Scotty says, I see so much of it in the oil and gas industry. I've been working my ass off for 5 years as a field tech, trying to move up. I'm close to moving up now, but I've dedicated so much of my time to get to where I am. And that's everything. Our generation, especially, I hear this from all of my mentors in my industry, that everybody under 40 years old right now is an abomination to the workforce. They don't like working with people my age. I'm about 38 right now, so I'm pretty close to the 40-year thing, very much a part of this Gen Z bullshit that I don't claim and want to be a part of, but for some reason I have to get lumped in with this mess. I genuinely believe I was reincarnated from a previous life in the 1920s, because I just do not identify with a lot of the shit that's going on in the world right now. But that being said, again, if you're willing, if it's something that's important to you, and if it's something that you would eventually like to brag about to other people, why not just put the effort into it so that you can actually brag about it? You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing gratifying about bragging about something that you can't bring to the table even on your best day. Like, if you don't know how to fly a plane, don't pretend that you know how to fly a plane, because what if somebody needs you for that? You know, like, and you, as funny as that is, like, I get phone calls all the time of like, hey, I need, you know, are you available to give me a lift here, blah, 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 go there. Like, I need to be here. I need to make a huge entrance here. Like, I get hired for all kinds of dumb shit. I've been hired by a golf course to fly and hover my helicopter over one of the greens so that the guy in the passenger seat can dump out a trash can full of golf balls that all had like little numbers written on it, and whatever golf ball got closest to the hole, whoever's golf ball that was on the little number won a free year of golf or something. And I got hired for that. So, like, imagine if I'm running around being like, hey guys, you know, I know how to fly a helicopter to be cool, but then somebody calls me and says, okay, but hey, I need like a business thing out of this. And I'm like, oh, hey, by the way, like, can't really do that. Sorry. Like, that's disingenuous. You know, like, you got to be able to have skills that people can count on. And if people call you, you got to be willing to do that. Because there's plenty of people that have skills that I don't have. I had to take I have a small generator that we use for camping. We plug it into the RV and it provides us all of our power when we're not able to plug into shore power if we're camping off of a regular campsite. Well, I know a lot of stuff about a lot of stuff. I know absolutely nothing about small engines. And so for me, I could sit there and tear this thing apart for days and days and days, weeks and weeks and weeks, and then never truly have the peace of mind that the small engine is fixed. So I'm always going to be doubting whether or not that's no. So I know my limitations. I know that I don't have the small engine or the mechanical prowess to get into that thing and fix it. So rather than do that, I'm just going to take it to a person who specializes in nothing but small engine repair. And then guess what? They're going to have all the tools and all the things and know all the tricks and all the pitfalls and have, 20, 30 years of experience working on these things. And guess what? I might pay a little bit more money, but I'm going to somebody that knows what they're doing because, just like Scotty said, he's been dedicating serious amounts of time and professional bandwidth to whatever it is that he's doing or she's doing. Whether that's working on computers or fixing furniture or rebuilding car engines or cleaning out the carburetor of small engines or flying planes or helicopters. It doesn't matter what you specialize in, but be honest about what you specialize in. And don't look at it as some kind of negative benchmark that you don't know how to do something, and use that as an opportunity instead to strive to gain more. If you don't know how to do something and you want to learn how to do it, then just fucking do it. Because what's going to end up happening is later on down the line, that is going to become useful, either directly to you or directly to a room that you're in where you can now showcase something that you bring to the table that benefits everybody in the room. Because of my job, I get phone calls from friends and family members all the time. They want to go to the range. They would like for me to teach them how to shoot. And so I teach them. Not because I think I'm the world's best shooter, but because I have the ability to break down the mechanics of shooting into very simple, manageable steps. It's not overwhelming. It's not me standing there acting like John Wick to somebody that's never shot a gun before. It's me demystifying that there's really not a whole lot to be scared of. There's some safety protocols that you have to manage every single time that you're around a firearm. And if you manage 99% of those protocols, nothing will ever happen that you don't intend to happen with that firearm. You're not going to accidentally shoot the ceiling. You're not accidentally going to shoot the ground. You're not going to put a round into your leg like Cheddar Bob. That's an 8 Mile reference for those of you paying attention. It's real. They are inherently dangerous things. But teaching people that and showing them that it's okay to be scared and that your fear is usually rooted in something other than knowledge. So let's get the truth on the table. The truth is, a firearm is a tool. That's it. It's a tool. It's like a spoon or a fork or a knife. It's just a tool. It can't think for itself. It can't shoot itself. It can't load itself. It can't transport itself. It can't aim at you by itself. All of that requires input from a human being. And therefore, blaming the tool for the heart of the human that operates it is like blaming the spoon for obesity or blaming ice cream for diabetes. It doesn't work like that. That goes back to the truth that we've been centering around this entire conversation. The truth of the matter is, people don't have discipline. The truth of the matter is, people are bad people. That's the truth. That's the uncomfortable truth that we don't want to sit with. There's evil walking among us, and evil doesn't need a justification. Evil doesn't need a reason. Evil just does. And the indifference, I love this quote too, the indifference of good men is why evil is allowed to flourish. So if as a good man or a good woman, if you see evil existing and you're doing nothing to make it go away, you're almost as bad as the evil itself. Because basically what you did is you were walking down the street and you saw that there was a landmine buried right in the middle of the street, and you said, well, you know what? I see it, so I'm gonna step to the left or to the right of it and I'll be fine. But I'm gonna leave it here for the next person. And maybe the next person that comes by is a young family. Maybe the next person that comes by is an old man or an old woman suffering from dementia, can't see that there's a landmine right in the middle of the street. So I look at that as a call to action for as long as I'm able to, that if I encounter evil, I'm not just gonna sidestep it and leave it for the next person. I'm gonna take care of it. I'm gonna bend down, I'm gonna dig up that evil, I'm gonna pick it up, I'm gonna disarm it or move it and get it out of the way. And by that token, that's how I stand up to evil, by saying, you're not allowed to be in the same room as me. I won't stand for it. Because there's a lot of people that won't stand up to it. They're scared of it, they resign to it. And that's okay, I guess. I'm just not that person. I believe that God put me here for a reason. And the reason was to, I don't know, like Jesus used to walk through the Pharisees and flip tables of people that were gambling. I believe that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to flip tables. I'm here to make you uncomfortable. I'm here to make you challenge the lies that you tell yourself to justify away poor behavior. I'm here to stand there and say, you may believe that bullshit, but I don't. And that needs to change. Thank y'all for coming to my TED Talk. Modern people, why are you targeting us? Scotty says, 100%, I'm 40, but the company I work for has had to fire so many people because they were young and bitched about having to work multiple days in a row. Like one guy they let go because he didn't want to work one day after working an 8-hour shift the day before. Yikes. Yeah, man. That's pretty crazy. We see that kind of stuff in my industry too. Like the contract that my industry is a great example of how just completely fucked up and not stable all of our work is. Because for instance, the contract that I'm on right now, when I was told about it, they told me it was a 3 days per week. I was supposed to be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I was supposed to be working with my client and traveling with him while he did, he's a corporate executive and he has business meetings all over the Southern California area. So I've been working with him specifically. The contract was supposed to be for 2 weeks. It was supposed to be 3 days a week for 2 weeks. That's 6 shifts. That's it. That's all we were supposed to have. And I took it because it's not a big deal. We're in a slow period of our, season because all the award shows are done. Nothing really has started up for filming. Public appearances are down. Most of the celebrities are going to be traveling to their vacation spots. So there's not a lot for us to do locally here in Los Angeles. So I'm always willing to pick up some extra work. So I took the gig. 2 weeks it was supposed to be. 2 weeks. A week before, so after the first week started, we got a phone call that it was going to be extended. But before it was going to be extended, we were going to 5 days a week. And the guy who's running the account was freaked out because he was like, well, crap, it's going from 3 days a week to 5 days a week. We're going to lose our best guys now. And so they called me and they said, hey, we just want to make sure that you're good to go, that you want to move over to the 5 days a week for the foreseeable. And I said, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. And they were like kind of taken aback by that. And I was talking to my manager and he said, yeah, after that first conversation that we had, we thought for sure you were going to bounce. So we actually started putting that out. We started shopping the position to other people just to make sure that we had a backup in case you decided that you didn't want to, continue. And I'm like, why wouldn't I want to continue? you know, like this, it's good money. It's a good gig. It's pretty predictable in terms of times and hours. I'm home every single night, which is very rare for me. Granted, I have a 2-hour commute in the morning and about a 2-hour commute in the afternoon, but that's Los Angeles. I mean, that's not anything wrong with me necessarily. That's just the industry. But I had to take 2 days off because of all the issues that's been going on with my vehicles the last couple of days. So very like sporadically, and it was definitely not planned. But I had to take the last 2 days off. I go back to work today. And the guy who was covering me, he had to work half day yesterday. No, I'm sorry. 2 days ago, he had to work a half day. And then yesterday, he had to work a full day. And the thing that was so impressive to me about this guy is that he reached out to me directly and thanked me for the opportunity. Which I've never had that. I've never had somebody like reach out and acknowledge that this is an incredible opportunity, even if it's just to cover. He's basically just my cover guy right now. Anytime that I need a day off or I have somewhere that I have to be that I absolutely cannot be at work, he's the guy that I call to go in there. And he has never once complained about it. He's never once been like, hey man, don't call me last minute. Hey man, blah, blah. It's just like, hey, I appreciate the opportunity. Thanks for the work. Every time. And I finally got a chance to meet him the other day, and I realized he's only a couple years older than I am. So he gets it. And him and I were having that conversation of like, man, some of these little gigs that you take, 3 days a week for 2 weeks, that's what I signed up for. Guess what? This contract got extended 11 months. It got extended 5 days a week for 11 months. This guy wants me until the end of the fiscal year. Howdy. So I look at those things as there are opportunities that people will stick their nose up at and say, well, I'm not gonna waste my time with that. That's, blah, blah, blah. But you don't realize that that opportunity is the front end of a much larger opportunity. And because you took it because you take it sight unseen, now you've proved to the client you're not just taking this gig because it's a red carpet in front of all the camera, thing. And I will venture to tell you that that's how my industry has changed so dramatically in the last probably 10 years. Because when I first started about 14 years ago, when I started in this industry, when you were getting contracts, you got everything about the detail right up front. I knew what celebrity I was working with. I knew what the pickup location was, which was their home address. I knew the drop-off location of the event. I knew which car I would be driving, the license plate of the car that I would be driving, and I had all of that information ahead of time to be able to decide if I wanted to work with that particular celebrity. And I have previously turned down working with specific types of celebrities for my own personal reasons. And so that was cool. Let me make my note real quick. All right. This is going to Armadillo. Copy. Paste. Delete. And we're looking at, what time is it? 05:21. This is going to Armadillo. Done. But yes, so we would get all of that information about our clients ahead of time, and what would end up happening, not because I, necessarily... Did I pick the wrong city? Oh crap, I totally did. Holy crap. I definitely picked the wrong video or the wrong city to deliver. This is gonna be to Ansburg for a lot less. Shoot. Paste. Yep, I screwed up. But yeah, so just to finish that thought, so we would get all of the information for our clients up front, and we would pick them, and you would pick it off of the perceived what the detail looked like on the surface. And so a lot of the senior guys that have been in the industry for a long time, they would take the biggest, most high-profile type gigs, and a lot of us would be stuck with whatever was left over. Occasionally, we'd be able to get, you know, bigger gigs, but it was only after it had been passed over by everybody else. So all the high-profile stuff was getting, like, gobbled up, and unfortunately, not the best qualified candidates were taking them, but the most senior candidates were. So guys that have been in the industry for a long time they ended up taking a lot of these contracts. Well, there was a big shift in the industry a few years ago, and now they're concealing all of the information. The only thing that you get told is, here's the pay rate, here's the day, and here's a very loose idea of what it is that you're going to be doing. And you have to say yes or no before you know who you're working with or what the details are or anything. And so for probably the last 4 or 5 years now, I have not found out who my client is until either the day of or the day before on who I'm working with. And unfortunately, that is to combat the way that our industry is selecting, because people are saying, "Oh, I don't want to work if it's not a big name and a red carpet. I don't want to do it." And so we're not being able to staff like regular jobs because everybody only wants to do the high-profile stuff. So, case in point, this was about 2 months ago. I got a request for service for an event in Woodlake, and it was a movie screening. That's how it was billed to us. So Woodlake, Woodland Hills, movie screening, and that was it. So I looked at all that and I was like, yeah, that's fine, I'm free that day, I'll do it, blah, blah, blah. I ended up working Taylor Swift's red carpet in LA. Yeah, Beyonce was there. You know, like it was something. And I had no idea until I walked up. I drove the whole way there, parked my truck, got out, started walking up, started seeing all the signs, and I was like, no fucking way. And sure enough, I was assigned to Miss Swift for the evening. And it was wild. Very, very nice young woman. Her fans are amazing as well. So it was just it was a fun night. When you're blessed, pathways open for you compared to others. I just believe that... Is that a cougar? Oh my god, it sure is. Look at that. Howdy, folks. Sorry to scare you. Just didn't want him running around town.
Oh, I understand that. But you got him.
Yeah, we got him. Have a good day. Sorry, Mr. Cougar, but we just can't have you running around town like that. That's just not going to be acceptable. That's not going to be acceptable at all. All right, let's go on back you up a little bit. Let's turn you a little bit. He said great RP. It's few and far between. My RP in this city is not as good as it was in Grand Theft Auto because you don't see people as often. But I try my best. 3251, that's noticeably lower than normal. 3,251. That's much, much lower. But that is okay. That is okay. All right, now I need to attempt. Get off. Go over to the wagon. Let's add the last 150. Move over. And let's go. I've never seen a cougar like prowling on the outskirts of Ansburg like that. Usually they're not this far down by the water. They go up in the mountains more. But either way, always nice to make friends. My favorite thing about RP that's happened at least twice so far is that individually I have interacted with people in this city, or I guess they call it in the county, because it's much, much larger than a city would be. I've had interactions with a few people in this county that were very wholesome, and it was just kind of a like do the right thing for the right reason type stuff. And those interactions, as wholesome as they were remembered by the people. And so with Bud Dudley just out in the world doing his stuff, Bud has actually met two of the people that I've encountered, and it was a really cool experience. I guess just selfishly because I have a good reputation, but what I like is that when I come into contact with people in the county, I'm really trying to make an effort to just be a good person out here, because it's very rare, just as it is in real world too. So if I see somebody that's hurt, I'll stop and help them and take them to the doctor, and just do the little things, and that makes a difference to people, because so many times people just ride on by. They won't stop to help. They won't involve themselves in any way. So Bud has actually met two people that I've come into contact with, and I'm so excited, man. It just makes me so happy that that being a good person can like work as an RP style, like so many people come in here to be gangsters and robbers and all that shit. Like I came into Grand Theft Auto to be a good person, and I came in here to be a good person too, and that's just it's just where I'm at. Oh, these are the two folks that I saw from the town. They're just hogging the road right now. Looks like they're trying to rest their horse. That's right. We're almost at the hill that I go up, so I'll let them go a little bit ahead, and then oh no, they're going up to me. They're going up the same place I am. Howdy again. All right, we are gonna do. We'll just do Ansburg for now.
Have a good evening, mister.
You as well. Thank you. Ma'am. All right, we out. Well, these are much shorter runs, but they're a little bit less profitable. But I definitely have more time to be able to do this real quick, so I'm gonna run these very quickly over to. I'm gonna run these very quickly over to Ansburg, drop them, and then I'm gonna put this money back in our camp fund, and then try to get a couple of moonshine runs up, and then we'll call that a morning. Just working our way over to Ansburg. We'll drop this off. Should be a short drive. I mean, it's probably a quarter of the drive that it usually takes. At least down to like Armadillo or something like that. This is about less than 10 minutes. I could run these all day. Just about $1,000 less per run, but you know, for what we need it for, this will work. Just run this straight on it. Whoa. Guess my song is over. Why am I not on GTA as much as the Helipilot was doing his thing? So, a couple reasons. None of them are bad, but the city that I tried to work in was having some problems, unfortunately, and so there were some frustrations that I was feeling, and I'm gonna keep it 100 here. I'm gonna tell you guys the exact truth of what's going on. There were too many resets in the city that I had called a specific city home, and there were a lot of like server issues as the city was developing. And every time that we had made some traction, in setting up our storyline and getting some stuff like good, fortunately, everything would change, and we would either lose all the processes that we had just learned, or we were losing resources that we had just, you know, earned. It was just getting to be like every week there was something else that was happening in the city that was not a good thing. And like people would be falling through the maps, people's stuff wasn't working. Like it started to become kind of a problem because it was affecting everybody's ability to RP. Not just me and not just any story that I had going on, but it was affecting everybody's ability to be in the town, working it. So I made a commitment that basically was, as long as the city works, I'll be in there and I'll be trying. But there's been a lot of issues with the city in various forms. So one of the things that I was thinking about doing is starting over in a new city, but I don't like that. And I'm just going to be honest with you, that feels disloyal to me, because Townsend and his servers, that's where I got my start, and that's where I want to stay. And so I genuinely believe and have a lot of confidence and faith that it's going to get fixed and worked out. So I am biding my time until I feel like it's gotten to a place where it's going to be stable. That we're not going to have to deal with a server restart or a server wipe, where we have to kind of like start over or rebuild characters or go through all of that. That's a significant reason. That's a significant reason why I've been waiting. But the reason that I have not left is because this is the city that I started in. This is the city that made me. And I don't know. I mean, to each their own, and I won't say anything about anybody else, because I know other content creators have left and they've gone to other cities and they're established there and they're doing their thing. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that they made the wrong decision, but that's the wrong decision for me. The wrong decision for me is that I'm a loyal person, and I don't forget the people that I come up with. All the things that I've ever been able to do in life, I have been able to do because I've stood on somebody else's shoulders and I've called myself tall. I don't think I ever get to a place in my life where I think that I'm here solely because of me. I'm here because of the people that I surround myself with, the people that mentor me, the people that come out on a limb for me, the people that are growing me and putting truth into my life. And the truth of this, whoa, shit. The truth of this life is that I would not get anywhere without people that I care about and people that trust me. Townsend put a lot of faith in me and has put a lot of trust in me, and likewise I put a lot of faith and trust in him as well. So that's why I'm not going to be starting in a new city. I'm just simply waiting for Townsend server to be buttoned up and have all of the major issues that were plaguing it worked out. And every now and then I'll get a pop-in from somebody that's in the city, and they'll check in with me and say, hey, you know, the city's doing better, it's getting there, it's this and this. And that's good, but like until I get in there and I see it for myself, every time that I sign in, I'm having issues with it. So it's tough, but John says that Townsend and Boog BS, they are great together. Don't know why they split. Yeah, I mean, I think as most of us, we were all just close enough to know something was going on, but just far enough removed to not know what specifically it was about. So there's a lot of the Townsend and Boog stuff that honest to God, I just don't know. I have my guesses. I have a couple of thoughts as to why that partnership may have broken up, and I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, and I'm not going to speak about something that I don't know intimately anything about. But I will say this. If you develop any kind of a partnership between you and another person, and whether that's, you know, a romantic partnership and y'all are trying to do life together and raise babies together and, you know, all that. Hold on, I got to deal with this shit real quick. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. I lost my train of thought. I completely lost my train of thought. Yeah, I apologize. The wolves distracted me too much. What happened to his tent? Where'd his tent go? But yeah, so just to kind of finish the thought, I lost my train of thought, but I'm gonna try and wrap it up here. That's all I've been waiting for, is just to get the server to be up and running, and then for me to try and get back in there. One of the things that I was really hoping to be able to do is get my job back in the police department and try to finish the career that Kyle never really had after working in the jail. I was Department of Corrections in Meta World. And then I had passed all my metrics to get up to the sheriff's department on patrol. And then we got out on patrol, and me and Bud Dudley were doing our thing. And the day that we were supposed to get off our cadet status is the day that Meta World closed formally. So there's that. I respected how they helped you with the computer. That was real. And that's another reason why I feel a sense of loyalty and obligation to that. I was just playing guitar. I had a friend of mine that passed away, and I was playing guitar just trying to deal with that. And I didn't have a lot of people in the RP world that I was close with at the time. So I just, threw up a flare kind of a thing. And I sat at Legion and played guitar, and Townsend and the whole community and Boog, they all got together and they rallied for me and took up a donation and ordered me a computer and shipped it right to my front door. It's amazing. To finish the thought that I was trying to say earlier, anytime that you have a partnership between two people, if you bring a third person into that, it's going to mess up the dynamic. Especially if that third person is aligned more to one person than to the group. And so in that way, my interpretation of what happened is that 3 is a crowd. And when you have a third person weighing into a 2-person partnership, there's going to be friction and there's going to be conflict. And in my opinion, I believe that's ultimately the root of what happened. I don't know the specifics, and I am purely guessing. But if I had to guess, I would say that when you bring outside people to an inside thing, you're going to change the dynamic of most friendships and business relationships. Full stop. Whether it's a good thing or bad thing, it doesn't matter. It's going to change because the partnership is built on 2 people. And when you have more than 2 people now making the decisions for something bigger, you're going to run into issue because you're going to have a third person's vision to contend with. And the third person's vision may not necessarily be what started the endeavor. So just food for thought. Okay. I need to share with you guys my whole screen, so give me 1 second. I'm going to do raw screen capture, and then I'm going to bring up my Discord. All right, cool. Okay. I'm adding some debug. Okay. All right, where are my? This is what I need. All right, paste. All right, today's the 18th. And I don't know what the total is yet, so we'll wait on that. Our first stop was 0430 for 150 to Armadillo. But it was for $4,286. And then at 5 o'clock, we did 150 to Ansburg for 4,112, and then at 0521 We did 150 trader goods to Ansburg for 3,251. And then we did that whole run twice. And we did that at 0536. All right, and now we need to add all of this up. So we'll bring out the handy dandy calculator because I don't math. 4286 plus 4112 plus 3251 plus 3251 is 14,900. Okay, so we're gonna hold that, and then I'm gonna take that and bring it down here for 600 trader goods. Okay. So we need 14,900. And now I'm going to take you guys back up to the regular. There we are. Hopefully that all worked. I never know. All right, cool. Looks like it did. Get my monitor back up here. All right, we're good. Add funds. 14,000. What did I say? 800? 900. 14,900. $14,900. Oh, Bud's on? Oh, shit. Cash deposited, 15K down, the 600 traders all delivered, no time for moonshine before work, will brew when I get home, hopefully. Evenings have been a crapshoot, apologies. Trying to just keep the traders flowing so the money is there when I have the time to rage with you. Have Monday, Tuesday off next week, so plan to get into trouble. Cheers, brother. Kai. All right, we have about 8 minutes till the storm, but I'm just gonna cook the last of this stuff, and then I'm going to go ahead and leave my stream here. I'm not going to come back after the storm today, only because I have a little bit more than usual to do before I have to leave for work. So I apologize that I have to leave you guys a little early, but I will definitely be back, hopefully this evening when I get off work. But if I can't be on this evening, you know what time to find me in the morning tomorrow. I'll be here. Could call this meetup. We should be good. All right. And with that, y'all, I think I'm going to just wait this out. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you so much for being a part of the stream, for being a part of a smaller stream, content creator that does not get a lot of love on the big platform, but I'm still here regardless. And one day, when I break it all open and I start getting all the success in the world, I plan on turning around and opening my hand and pulling all of the content creators that I remember that are talented and deserve a platform. I'll reach out my hand and I'll pull them all the way up with me. This is not about just my journey. This is about all of our journeys. I hope one day I'm able to do that, the same as has been done for me. Appreciate you guys. Have a great, great Thursday. Be well, stay blessed, stay up.
DJ, kill it. Mama was a pill-popping, pretty little number 10 and bar at the Quality Inn. Every single day she was up in the States to a game that nobody could win. Her kids would stay the night with the neighbors. Mama wouldn't be home until later. We heard she was turning tricks for paper. That was just another Tuesday night in those trailers. White trash, roots running deeper. Teen pain, pills turned to needles. Things I've got to know. These feelings, something that you can't outrun.
Just kidding. If you're still here, this is the After the Credits special. If you stuck around to watch the credits, now you get a little extra bonus. There was a bear that was in the area, and so we're gonna take this sucker, and we're gonna take him old school too. Yeah, give me that. Don't you dare. All right. I got my grizzly. Now I'm actually going to go, though, so I apologize, but I have to go now. Okay, bye-bye.
DJ, kill it. Mama was a pill-popping, pretty little number 10 and bar at the Quality Inn. Every single day she was up in the States to a game that nobody could win. Her kids would stay the night with the neighbors. Mama wouldn't be home until later. We heard she was turning tricks for paper. That was just another Tuesday night in those trailers.